Are you ready to roll?
I am all ready.
Okay, I am going to introduce our special guest today, Mr. Isaac Salapat. He's going to teach us all about dinosaurs. And so, who's going to be a very good listener today? Yes. And let's clap our hands and thank him for coming, okay? Yay, thank you. All right.
Hello. As she was saying, my name is Isaac. I'm a big fan of dinosaurs. I just never outgrew it. I'm sure a lot of you guys are all also fans of dinosaurs. And I'm just going to go through basically the history of dinosaurs and not only our history with dinosaurs, but then the history of dinosaurs on the world as well. So my presentation here, if I can get my little magic pointer to work, which doesn't want to point on the screen. Science, dinosaurs, and the Bible. They're all sort of tied together. Science, just real quick, I'm going to try to make this a little easier for you guys. How many of you guys have all done science? Okay. Have you ever mixed vinegar and baking soda together and it explodes and makes a big volcano with a big mess and you have to then clean it up? Or you leave your mom to clean it up? Whichever.
No.
That's just doing your science. It's something you can do it once and you can wait an hour and you can do it again and it does the same thing. You can wait a week and it'll do the same thing. You can wait till you're 90 years old and you can mix your vinegar and your baking soda together and it'll still erupt and make a big mess. That is repeatable, okay? Science always has to be repeatable. And one of the things that we'll learn about later on is a lot of what they tell us about dinosaurs is not repeatable. Yeah. So a lot of what they're going to be telling us isn't going to be science. It's also observable. You mix your vinegar and your baking soda together, and you can see the vinegar and the baking soda combined and erupt and make a bunch of bubbles and make a big mess.
Yeah.
So, and it would also be falsifiable with vinegar and baking soda. It's not very much, but someone should say when you mix vinegar and baking soda together, it does not erupt. And when you mix them together, you find out it does actually erupt. So their previous statement would be falsifiable. Dinosaurs. Ooh. Dinosaurs is a very tricky word. Okay, I have, here I have a fossil of a replica of a fossil of a pterodactyl. All right, this was a flying dinosaur, quote unquote. Something about dinosaurs, they only lived on land. So technically this is not a dinosaur. Everyone still refers to it as a dinosaur, but technically it's not a dinosaur, all right? For the most part, I'll refer to it as a dinosaur, but it's actually not. You'll also have the dinosaurs that swam in the oceans, the big long-necked ones with the flippers. Those also technically would not be dinosaurs because dinosaurs are strictly land-dwelling animals. Amongst the dinosaurs, you have two main types, all right? And those two types are based off of their hips. So we have one group of dinosaurs that are lizard-hipped and another that are bird-hipped. All that means is some dinosaurs, their hips look more like birds, and others look more like dinosaurs, or like lizards, like alligators.
Do you guys know what your hips are? Where your hips are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sort of your legs connect to your hips. Okay. Now, when they tell you that dinosaurs evolved into birds, if you go to any museum around here, the odd thing is, they will, especially the one in Kenosha, all of the dinosaurs that they say evolved into birds, guess which kind of hip they have? Do they have the lizard hip or the bird hip?
Bird hip.
Raise your hand, please. Gideon.
Bird hip.
All right, you would be 100% wrong.
Oh.
All of the dinosaurs that they show as evolving into birds have a lizard hip.
Oh.
Doesn't that make sense? So not only are the dinosaurs way too big, or they've got scales and not feathers, but when they evolve from a dinosaur into a bird, they lose the ability to walk. So that doesn't work very well. And then amongst the bird-hipped dinosaurs, which again are not what they tell us evolved into birds, there's two breakdowns in there. You have T-Rex, so you've got the ones that will stand upright, have big legs and then smaller front arms. And then you also have the sauropods. So the big, like, long neck dinosaurs, those are also in that same grouping. And then the Bible, I don't say much about that, but it's a collection of 66 books written over 150 years in 3 different languages, and they all tell the same story. So, the word dinosaur, that really big long word to spell, invented in 1841, which I do have that on here. You'll be able to take a look at that afterwards. This is my timeline of world history, which I'll show you more of later, or you can come up and look at it. But Sir Richard Owen invented the word dinosaur in 1841, which wasn't all that long ago. That's basically when we started digging up dinosaur bones again. So, like, all of the teeth here and the toes and all that, all of those fossils would have been discovered sometime after 1840, 1830, something like that. That's basically when they first started digging up dinosaurs. And when they were doing that, they pieced the dinosaurs together just like we do. And they pieced them together kind of funny. A lot of them we now see are all drawn. I do have the pictures on here as well. But Sir Richard Owen was actually a Christian who invented the word dinosaur. So that's a little, yes, Gideon?
You.
What about me?
You're an archaeologist.
Archaeologist? No, I'm actually not. An archaeologist is someone who digs up more from civilizations in the past. So they would like dig up ancient Egypt. A paleontologist is someone who goes and digs up like the different dinosaur bones and things like that.
Like you.
Sort of. I've never actually dug up dinosaur bones, but anyways. So Sir Richard Owen, he was a Christian who invented the word dinosaur. That is a picture of him when he was younger, not when he actually. His older pictures are even worse. That's why I didn't include one of him being older. So then here are some of the pictures from around that time period after they found dinosaurs. Here's some sauropods. As you look at like his legs, you see they're all bent out like an alligator.
Yeah.
That's sort of what they were modeling it after, and then with the bones that they had found. These ones, they're not, I mean, aside from the fact that they're like super duper flexible, they're not that bad. I've got, here we go, these ones. They modeled a lot of their dinosaurs and they put them in poses like mammals, which this particular one, I don't think they actually found his front legs, and he actually stood up a lot more like
I grabbed the trash can, sorry.
He stood up a lot more like a T-Rex, but they hadn't found all the necessary bones that they needed to, and so they ended up drawing them really, really crazy.
Yes, I can.
Or like this one where his legs are like really, really, really skinny, and so they just did a really bad job drawing dinosaurs. Again, here the legs didn't actually bend like that. Here is the iguanodon, which
He's chubby.
looks very similar to this guy, but he doesn't have the horn on the back of his head, and his thumbs are big spikes. They were originally thinking that those were his teeth when they found them, and so they ended up drawing them in his mouth, and again, they really screwed up the whole. I mean, this is more of what it should look like. So they did a really bad job drawing those.
Yeah, they did.
Here is it's still an early drawing, it's from 1895, but it's a much more accurate drawing of an iguanodon. And then on this one, we actually did find out that, what we thought were his teeth are really his thumbnail. So they went and fixed that up. Here are some more. It should be looking a lot more like a T-Rex, and they're drawing them to look like mammals. One of the interesting things that you'll find, especially as you look into history and Egypt, South America, things like that, is people will draw dinosaurs from before when they were digging them up. So before we knew about dinosaurs from their bones, people were drawing them. And even in Europe, you have reports of dragons. And a lot of the dragon stories look very similar to dinosaurs if you actually read the reports and you know this is what it looked like. So here we have a dictionary from, here we go, 1948. And when we look up dragon in the dictionary, the very first report or very first definition is now rare, a huge serpent. Well, a lot of people would consider this a huge serpent, or even like the velociraptor that may have only been the size of a turkey. That still would have been considered a huge serpent. And so a lot of dragon reports that you read throughout history could actually all be dinosaurs, which is very, very interesting. And then this is from the same dictionary. They do then also have a report or a listing under dinosaur because, again, dinosaur was invented in 1841. And so then they list as any group of an extinct reptile varying in length from 2 to 90 feet. We've now found dinosaurs a lot bigger than 90 feet. But it's still, it's still a definition for dinosaurs. Now, in the ancient past, we have people reported seeing dinosaurs, and this is my last slide because that's all I had time to put together, because someone didn't tell me I had a TV. But I won't say who that was. In the past, as I was saying earlier, people have drawn dinosaurs. And so here is, again, it's a replica of a burial stone.
Can you tell them what a replica is?
A replica is a copy of something that's real. So this particular one, there was a stone that looked like this, that was carved like this, and somebody took that particular piece and they either covered it with like a silicone or clay, or maybe they just carved their own, but they made something that would look just like the real one, but it's a lot cheaper than the real one. So that's why I bought this one and not a real one.
That looks like a T-Rex.
A T-Rex? Yeah, it actually does. And this...
Trying to get a person.
He's trying to get a person?
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, and again, this was a burial stone. So maybe he actually got the guy, and that's why he died and they had to bury him. And so then they carved the stone showing how he died, and they buried that with the guy.
Oh, yeah.
But here's my little timeline. This is when God created the world. So day 6 is, just a teensy weensy bit into there. Noah's flood. Jesus is born. And we're actually a little bit past the edge of the schedule, or the ruler, because it only goes to 2000, and we're at 2014. So the word dinosaur, in the entire history of the world, was invented way over here. That's when dinosaur was invented. Now the Incas, and that's also basically then when they dug the dinosaurs up. This Inca stone was carved way over here, way before we started digging up dinosaurs. So these guys had to have seen whichever weird animal this is, that they would know to carve it. That looks a lot like T-Rex. They would have had to have seen it, that they could have carved it attacking the sky. And we find drawings like that all over the world. That one's from South America. We have from in North America, this is a replica that I made. There's a cave out west. And what does this look like?
A dinosaur.
Yes, it does. Again, it looks a lot like, if you chop this guy's horn off, a lot like this dinosaur, right?
Except it doesn't have any arms.
It doesn't have any arms, you're right. But we chop the arms off too.
You can tell it's something big, right?
And you can tell, does it look like maybe a buffalo?
No.
Because buffalo lived out west. Does it look like an antelope
No.
or a deer?
No.
No.
Looks like a long neck.
Yeah. Does it look like maybe a bird?
Yeah.
They would have had birds back then when they were drawing these.
Doesn't
It,
look.
it doesn't really look like any of those. Does it look like a snake?
Yeah. Sort of.
They would have had rattlesnakes over there.
Well, not really.
It doesn't look, does a rattlesnake have legs?
No.
All right, so it wouldn't be a rattlesnake. So they saw something, and they drew a picture of it. And then not only do we find dinosaurs, but we do find buffalo. We find rattlesnakes. We find eagles and hawks. And they painted those on their, or carved those into their walls as well. So it's not something that's just, you know, hey, we found these weird things, let's, we found bones, let's carve them on the wall. No, they were just carving what they saw in everyday life. This one is from Egypt. It's another replica that I made.
Anything.
Well, here's an eagle, and here's a scarab, that's a beetle, and then here's this long-necked dinosaur with flippers, which technically isn't a dinosaur because it lived in water. But here's this long-necked dinosaur with flippers. Well, how would the Egyptians have known about that?
I don't know.
They must have seen it.
Do you guys think they made it up, or do you think they saw it?
They saw it.
Yes?
Because pretty much the only water in Egypt was the Nile River.
The Nile River, yep. And they actually have stories, and there's actually one in the Bible, I forget exactly where it's referenced at. But it tells of a creature like this swimming up the river and stirring up a bunch of mud. And so they went and surrounded him and threw a net over him and they killed him. And that's more than likely where and when they started using his image in their hieroglyphs. So, just because we haven't necessarily known about them as of super lately, the people back then still did. And a more interesting fact, when we drew the dinosaurs shortly after we found all their bones, like I was showing in the slides up there, we did a really lousy job drawing them. The carvings in that we see from in the past, like this one, is he drawn out looking like a mammal crawling around the ground on all fours? No. Because they actually saw him. They knew what he looked like. On the T-Rex here, you can see his skin. He's got these little designs on him and the stripes and all that. Well, we've actually found, I don't think we found any T-Rex skin, but we have found skin from other dinosaurs, and a lot of them have little round rosette patterns on their skin.
Wow.
Cool.
So not only, did they see them, but they saw them close enough that they could see, hey, look, they've got these particular patterns on their skin. When we draw it, we're not just going to do, a vague outline like with this one, but no, we're actually going to draw the detail and draw what his skin looked like. So that's sort of our history interacting with dinosaurs. Again, there's some more dragon stories and things like that. But now, let's get to just the history of dinosaurs themselves, which I have, I don't know, depending on how much time this all takes up, a book up here that you guys can look through that goes through it as well. But dinosaurs would have been created when?
When God created Adam and Eve.
Okay, and what day was that?
Day 1.
No.
Day 2.
No.
Day 3.
Guys!
No.
Oh, you're hurting this teacher.
Day 6.
Yes, day 6. So again, that would have been just the teensy tiniest bit into here from 4,000 BC. This is going to be about 6,000 years ago. Now, when God originally created everything, did it go around eating meat or plants?
Plants. Both.
No, just ate plants to start off with.
Plants.
Which means T-Rex, with his big sharp teeth like this, didn't eat meat. I know, you're all bummed out. Sorry.
But he did eat meat.
He did end up eating meat, but not originally when God created him. And we may not have any reports from like dragon stories and that of dinosaurs or dragons eating meat. We do have accounts from the past 20, 30 years of lions that would not eat meat. They would strictly eat plants. There's some other lizards and things like that that have sharp pointy teeth that do not eat meat. There's a fruit bat that has sharp pointy teeth. And what do you think it eats?
Fruit.
It eats fruit, exactly. What do you need sharp pointy teeth for?
Eating.
Eating, yes. But
And peeling the skin off bananas.
yeah, you don't want to sort of squish it all together when you try to peel it off. Or pineapple's mighty hard.
Yeah.
If you're trying to bite through the rind of a watermelon, that's pretty hard. So sharp, pointy teeth would be very helpful in eating, melons and watermelons and peeling bananas and things like that. Yes.
There's even some fish fossils with sharp teeth.
There are fish fossils as well, and there are the piranha. You guys know what the piranha is?
They have really sharp teeth.
It's actually a relatively small, yes, Gideon.
Does it have a species that helps it fly?
Again, it's technically not a dinosaur, but yes, there are. And this actually would have been covered, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago in day number 5 with flying creatures of the 5th day. And they also would have covered the swimming creatures. But yes, there were some animals. Again, all animals ended up living together. But when you look at like drawings and that, when they showed like T-Rex and they'll show the dinosaurs flying in the air, there were some that flew in the air, yes. And I can't reach your name. But what's your question? Gabe?
What's your question?
When someone goes this way, he goes
Oh.
Garbage is over there. So again, they all would have been created together on day 6, which means just from reading the Bible we would know that dinosaurs lived with man because they're both made on the same day. Dinosaurs would have also lived with lions and tigers and bears and horses and elephants and giraffes and everything that we see around today, except for poodles, would have lived with dinosaurs.
Poodles are dogs.
Yeah, but they're kind of small, and I don't think God would have made them like that. Because they're kind of mutants.
Yeah. But they
Yes,
do look
Levi.
really funny. And they're just breeds.
Yes, God would have made dogs, but then they would have changed throughout that. Yes,
And poodles do look really funny.
they do look relatively
With
funny.
hardly any fur on them.
Yes. Gideon.
Well, cats. Well, they don't like dogs.
Which don't like cats? Don't like dogs?
Yeah. Dogs don't like.
And dogs don't like cats.
And well, there's a dog. That's our friend has a dog.
Okay.
Well, he's so little. I mean, but I could even. They got bring into a party, but don't bring little dogs to parties.
No?
Because cats might eat them for dinner.
The cats will eat them?
Yeah. No.
But so when God would have created all the animals, the dinosaurs would have lived with everything, all the other animals that he made. And so the dinosaurs were formed. Okay, that would have been 6,000 years ago. When they were formed, the dinosaurs were also fearless. They didn't scare, or they weren't afraid of man. Man wasn't afraid of them because they all ate plants. They didn't eat each other, so it was all good and well. Well then, Adam and Eve ate of a certain tree, and that sort of, ruined everything, right? Well, the dinosaurs then probably started to eat meat. And do you want to live next door to a giant dinosaur that eats meat?
No.
No.
Ew.
Exactly. So, either, Adam and Eve and their kids and that would have, moved away from the dinosaurs or scared the dinosaurs away, stuff like that. Yes.
It'd be funny if there's a house building next door and there's actually a person, but it's actually a dinosaur, and the guy, one of the big dinosaurs is in it, and the person was living next door, and then the dinosaur would be the next door neighbor.
The dinosaur is a next door neighbor.
I wouldn't want to live next door to a dinosaur.
Yeah, I don't think many people would.
Yeah, because they might
But
eat weird
What about if you live next door to a nice, stegosaurus? So the size of a school bus.
I would like to live next to him.
He's not going to eat you.
I would like to live next to him. Yeah, they only defend themselves. Sometimes some dinosaurs still eat plants.
They're like the stegosaurus. That's still just a plant.
Weird plants.
They would have eaten, I'm sure, whatever plants were available. If you had an apple tree in your backyard, I'm sure they would eat the apples.
Well, we might have been hungry if they ate it.
Let's
Well, you would
let
be able to
Mr.
go to
Isaac
the store.
finish, okay, guys?
Your question real quick?
Me and my brother are getting the bearded dragon.
Ooh, a bearded dragon.
Because they don't fly, this is why they're called the bearded dragon. They have spikes, but when you put them like that, like a dog, the spikes are actually really, really soft.
Ooh.
And if you put them up,
They're all
really,
pointy and
really
sharp.
spiky. And because they're called bearded, because when they get really aggressive, they pull out a beard.
Cool. So the dinosaurs were made, they lived with man, but they were friendly. Adam and Eve ate of the forbidden fruit, and all of a sudden the dinosaurs weren't so friendly. And they lived together for 1,500 years, which is a really long time. But it's funny because Adam, do you guys know how old he lived to be? He lived to be like 800 years old. So on my little timeline here, this is 1,500 years. So Adam would have lived to about over here. He was an old guy. But, so he would have been able to tell all his kids about what it was like in the Garden of Eden. And then man just got really wicked, and God was like, yeah, that's it, I've had enough. And so this Noah guy came along, and you guys know what Noah did?
Built an ark.
That is correct. Noah built an ark. Yeah, and here it is. This was much larger than this. But so on here you can see Noah and the ramp leading up to the door in the ark. And then just to draw some scale, I've got some elephants on here, and kangaroos and horses, and things like that. But so God told Noah to build an ark, and Noah built an ark. And God brought all these animals to Noah, brought 2 of every kind of animal. So he would have just brought 2 dogs. He wouldn't have had to bring the poodles, because they could have come around afterwards. And he also would have brought 2 of each kind of dinosaur. Now, how many dinosaurs do you think, how many different types of dinosaurs do you think there were?
100.
You in the blue shirt.
20.
2,000? Okay. And Gideon?
Well, 3,000.
3,000? Isaiah. Jonathan there.
100.
100? Levi.
Over 14,000.
Over 14,000? And Gabe?
A million.
A million? A million different kinds of dinosaurs? Maybe a million total dinosaurs. Didn't you already answer?
100.
100? Okay. Depending on who you talk to, there were probably less than like 40 different kinds of dinosaurs.
Like 20?
20, 30, 40, something like that. No 100. So, just in like the Triceratops, you have what most people think of when they think of a Triceratops, 3 horns on his face. But he had, a cousin that had 1 big horn, and he didn't have the smaller horns at all. There's another one that has 3 horns, and then he's got a whole bunch of spikes coming out around his frill. Well, those are all going to be the same type of dinosaur, the same kind of dinosaur, but you have different styles, okay? So when God brought animals to Noah to bring them on the ark, he didn't have to bring 2 of the Triceratops, 2 of the dinosaur that just have the one horn and 2 of the dinosaur that have all the frills around his neck, he would have just had to bring 2, and then after the flood, they could have diversified again. Yes, Gabe?
Well, you should get this movie. It's called Jurassic Park.
Ooh, Jurassic Park. I've watched that movie.
Yeah. Guess what? I watched it. The first time I watched it.
You had nightmares.
Nope.
Oh.
Was it really scary?
Well, it was
Let's not
kind
go
of
into
scary
it
for
right
me.
now.
It was
It'll
kind of scary for
sidetrack
me.
us.
So I had to.
Hey, Gabe, hold on, bud. We only have a little bit of class time left. Let's let Mr. Isaac keep going, okay?
I've still got to cover from here all the way to here. So, we had the dinosaurs were made, the dinosaurs weren't afraid of man, man falls, dinosaurs fall with them, and now man and dinosaurs don't really get along. There's a big flood, and dinosaurs get brought onto the ark. Now, like I was saying earlier, this one was the size of a school bus.
Well,
Do you think he would have brought a dinosaur the size of a school bus onto the ark? That's going to take up a lot of space.
Yes.
yes.
No.
No, he wouldn't have.
No.
And,
You did. No.
well, no,
Hold
he
on,
didn't.
guys.
Why?
This dinosaur here is almost life size. Almost. For a baby. Okay? All the dinosaurs that we see, or at least the majority of them that we found, for the most of them we found eggs. And the eggs for dinosaurs were about the size of a football.
Oh my. Those are really big.
But you gotta realize, mommy's the size of a school bus.
My.
So, that baby hatches out of, a football-sized egg, and it's the size of a football, and it grows, 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 until it, reaches the size of a school bus. So, instead of God bringing, school bus-sized dinosaurs to Noah to put on the ark, he could have brought much smaller dinosaurs. They would have easily fit onto the ark. If they fell over, instead of Grandpa Dinosaur breaking a bone, because we all know he would do that, the younger dinosaur, he gets back up and he's fine. You fall outside, you don't have any problems, you get back up, you're a little muddy, right? So, there's not, if we're in a flood and the ark's sort of rolling back and forth, they're not going to get hurt very much. They're also going to eat less, which means Noah doesn't bring as much food on the ark, which saves him time. And after the flood, they live longer and they can have more babies, which is why God brought them on the ark anyways. Yes?
Well, actually, you kind of would get hurt because who knows if you're going to drown.
Well, that's why you're on the ark, so you don't drown. All the dinosaurs that were outside of the ark, when the flood came, they all got drowned and died because they had no land to be on, which is where we find all of our fossils from. So, like this used to be on a T-Rex. This was his finger, or his fingernail, like that. Well, during the flood, he got swamped with a bunch of muddy water and buried, and he died, drowned. And then he fossilized, and then someone else came along, so he fossilized over here. Someone came along all the way over here and dug him up and went, "Oh, cool, a dinosaur fingernail. I think I'll make models and sell them." So that's what he did. So after the flood, the dinosaurs get off the ark, and we have, just to show you an example of the timeline here, after the flood, Abraham lived sometime over here. Here is when the Israelites all leave Egypt. That's the Exodus. Jesus lives over here. Alexander the Great, when he's conquering the world, he goes to India, and he reports of giant dragons living in caves that scare all of his troops. We have, then Jesus is alive. The Inca stones, which those are the burial stones. Those are around shortly thereafter. Probably won't have time for this one, but Beowulf is, you guys know who the Vikings are? No? Does Gideon know who the Vikings are?
Well, there are people that don't share.
They don't share? Have you
they
watched
do
Lyle the Tiny Viking?
Yeah. They do sell things to get
All right.
money.
The Vikings were a group of basically robbers that would sail around Europe and England and basically sail up rivers and steal stuff and leave. Well, they have a story called Beowulf in which the main hero of the story kills a T-Rex. And he kills the T-Rex by ripping his arm off. And he bleeds to death. And then he sees someone steals like a gold cup or something from in some dragon's lair. And a much larger pterodactyl like this. But he sees that and he goes to kill that too. And it kills him instead. So that's the end of that story. But so in that story he has reports of these two different dinosaurs. And these are also, they were formed, they were fearless, they were fallen, there was a flood. And then after the flood, till way over here, when Sir Richard Owen invents the word dinosaur, when they start digging them up, they're just being less and 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 less dinosaurs. And so this whole period, the dinosaurs are all fading. And then the dinosaurs are found by people like us. And they're put together. And then after that, we now enter into the fiction age of dinosaurs, where they tell us dinosaurs evolved into birds, and they all ate meat, and they were really mean and vicious, and they lived millions and millions and millions of years ago, which we know can't be true. And I've got till what, 50?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Can I ask you a question?
yes.
Okay, we've read a little bit about dinosaurs, and
Okay.
it says they've uncovered their bones and that, but they don't really know what their coverings look like.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of make that part up.
Yes.
Okay.
They have found some. I don't have any examples of it, but they have found, yes, fossilized dinosaur skin, and they actually found a hadrosaur, which is going to be, again, very similar to this dinosaur, in Montana, that they named Leonardo, and it is actually mummified.
Oh.
So they have all of the imprints from his skin, so they can see all of his internal organs, all that sort of stuff. And it's all, it's hard, but, it's all still there. There's, it's not just the bones. They can actually see, the texture of it and all that. They don't really know what color it was, but they do know the texture of the skin. They then also, you won't read about this a lot, but if you ever go fossil hunting, especially to dig up dinosaurs, a lot of people have reported that when you break off the top layer of dirt and you expose that dinosaur, it smells like rotting meat. So the odor from the dinosaur dying is still lingering around there for a half hour, whatever, after you first uncover that particular bone. So that's something that wouldn't necessarily last for millions and millions of years. And then they have found, I think this was on a dinosaur, that it actually did have still some of the color and the pigment on the fossilized skin. So for that particular dinosaur, they do know basically what color it was. But again, there's not a lot of skin imprints that have been found of dinosaurs. And do you have...
Oh, can I ask them one question? So guys, did dinosaurs live millions of years ago, or did they live with people? Who says they lived millions of years ago?
Millions of years ago.
Or did they live with people?
No. People. They lived with Adam and Eve.
They lived with people, okay? Remember, God made all the land animals on day 6. Remember our poem? Day 6, God formed all beasts and man. Beasts and man. All the land animals, all the fuzzy cute things, all the big scary gnarly things that were on land and man at the same time. So you guys gotta remember the same time, not millions of years ago were the dinosaurs, like a lot of books say. Almost every book you will ever find in the library will say they lived millions of years ago, way before people, but it is not true. It is not true. They lived at the same time as people. Okay, and dinosaurs were on the ark. Remember how he showed you guys
Over here on Noah's
the
flood.
ark? Okay, God put small, young dinosaurs on the ark so they could fit. And then after a long time, more of them died and more of them died and more of them died. But it was not millions of years ago.
Do you guys know what a bear is?
Yeah. A big furry brown animal.
Exactly.
And
There used to be bears that lived in this general area in Wisconsin. But people move in and they kick all the big mean scary animals out, or they kill them and eat them and whatever. Well, they would have done the exact same thing with dinosaurs. You moved into a new land. In China, you have reports of this, of the emperors there in their history, that they drained whatever particular fields and there were all these dragons in there. And so they kicked all the dragons out and they moved in. They drained the marsh so they can build houses, and there's scary monsters in the marsh. Well, we don't want to live next to big scary monsters, so we kill the big scary monsters or we scare them away and then we move in. So I mean, the entire time they're doing that, there's going to be fewer and fewer because they're killing more and more. Any other questions? Yes, Eli?
And we found a horse.
We did find a horse, but a horse isn't a dinosaur. And I don't recall it stinking like that when we dug it up. Any other questions?
No.
No? All right, if you guys want, you can come up here. I do have some cool little...
We just have a couple minutes,
Just a
guys,
couple
so
minutes.
let's come and look.
I've got, I think, 4 of each, so you can have one, but only one. So you gotta
Oh, you guys
think
get
of
to
which
keep
good
one
one.
of those?
Yes.
Nice. Only one. Choose quickly so everybody gets a chance to have one.
I like
Okay.
good thing how it's not this bowl there.
Alright, so
I
you
like
wanna-
this one with the parrot beak. Well, I like this one, Noah. I like this one.
You like that one? All right, you can have that one.
Well, I like bones because they don't let us. Look at this one. I like this one because it has a parrot mouth.
Yeah.
I like this one.
You like that one?
Why? Do you have a bone? Okay.
Do you guys all want to stand and hold your things?
You have
Take a
bone?
picture.
I have two.
Can you guys all stand right here? Just stand.
I got I watch
Just stand up here. I'll take a picture.
I watch
Go over here. Over here. Over here. Hold up here. All right, everybody smile. You guys are kind of hiding. I'm gonna take one from this side.
Make your parent. Maybe. You want to go into the